As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to be disciplined, courageous, and honorable. This is Surrendered Strength. Men, welcome to another episode of the I Am Surrendered podcast. I'm your host, Niall Lansing, and you're here because you're a Christian, and maybe you're a new Christian and you're trying to figure out what in the hell it means to be surrendered and to live a surrendered life. And maybe you're not a new Christian. Maybe you've been a Christian for a while, but you feel stuck. You feel stuck in a cycle of shame, guilt, and doubt. And this all stems from potentially rejection. And you have dreams, but you feel like because you have dreams and you want to pursue those dreams, you feel like you're not going to live in a way that honors and glorifies God. So you feel stuck. And you're stuck in a cycle of pursuing and denying, crashing and burning, and creating and crashing, building and burning. And this ultimately comes down to your relationship and understanding with God and your purpose in God. And really understanding three questions: who am I? Why am I here? And where am I going when this life is over? So with that, you are a Christian man that continues to pursue desires only to deny yourself the joy of experiencing the success that comes from it. You create relationships only to watch them crash and burn out of fear of rejection. And you continue to build your kingdom, that is your body, your marriage, your wealth, only to watch it all burn because you're afraid of what may happen to it. So if this sounds like you're in the right spot. We are diving into what it means to live surrendered, to be a man who lives in a way that honors and glorifies God, that has surrendered their life to God. And in doing so, you have gained power. You have gained strength because you're no longer standing on your own false power, your own false identity, your own false purpose. You can actually stand on what God has called you to be, who God has called you to be, and you can know with certainty that you're here for a reason and you know where you're going from here. So again, welcome to the I Am Surrendered podcast. I'm your host, Niall Lansing, and today it's going to be a shorter one, but I want to share with something that I shared a little bit on Instagram about this today, and just wanted to share it here because it's something that no one talks about, and it is the ability to be present and the ability to be in a room and experience what you have in front of you, what you are seeing, what you're hearing, what you are smelling, tasting, whatever is going on in that room, being able to experience it. Now, I've been going through a lot of work over the past 9 months. God has been just stripping away layers of of bullshit in my life. And this is one area where he's been working. And one area that I honestly didn't realize how impacted I had been by this simple lack of presence, not being mentally present. And it's been uh, weeks, months now that the awareness has been there, and the growth is still there and still needing to be there. There's a lot more growth that I have to do in that. But this morning, as I was doing a rage stack, and I was rage stacking other people's thoughts and opinions. And if you don't know what rage stack is, it's a tool to really help you get honest about the story that you're telling yourself in a certain area or on a certain topic. So I was stacking, other people's thoughts and opinions, because I've realized that I've been just holding on to others' thoughts and opinions, and giving them more weight and value than they deserve. And in doing so, that they've been taking up space in my head and time in my life. And again, just keeping me from being fully present. There was an incident, or a couple different incidences on Facebook, where I made a wasn't a comment. It was just a reaction to someone's post, and it was a laughing reaction to what they thought was a serious post, and I thought it was a joke of a post, uh, all related to politics. So you can imagine, well, the chick like starts attacking me, and to say she used to be a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, but anyway, she's asked me why I made the laughing reaction, and starts just going off on me. And okay, that's fine. But what I found was, that was still going on in my head. And then I made my own post about my own opinions on different, um, both political and social topics. And she made some comments on there, and again, the comments, how I responded, just kept playing over in my head. And I knew that was obviously not something that is supposed to happen, not something that I want to be continue to allow happen. Because I've just been more aware of this, more aware of the fact that I'm giving people's thoughts and opinions way more space, way more time than they deserve, because they are nothing but a breeze, or just something that should be floating past me, and I'm not worried about it. But giving them way too much time and space in my life. And so, again, rage stacking. And what as I started going through it, it's just making the connection of, hey, okay, this isn't how I should be allowing these things to be controlling me, because they're controlling me. If I'm thinking about them, they're controlling me. And then it all stems back to this fear of rejection, is what I get back to during this rage stack. And again, this is something else that's been brought up multiple times in different stacks and prayers, and something I've been continuing to work on, and knowing or understanding where this fear was coming from and why I was doing what I was doing. And then understanding that, you know, this is ridiculous. I don't have to fear rejection anymore because I know who I am. I know why I'm here. I know where I'm going. And God has been just showing me that, I am his. I am a son and a king of him, of the living God. And, I know I've shared that but multiple times, but it is extremely important that we understand our identity and understand who we are. Because if we do not understand our identity, if we don't know who we are in God, we are going to continue to feel stuck. We are going to continue to feel like we're living in shame, guilt, and doubt, and experience the fear of rejection among many other fears, which all leads to depression and suicidal thoughts and everything else that comes with that darkness. But when we start to stand in who God says we are, we can start to drop the fear. We can start to drop the doubt. We can start to drop the guilt. We can start to drop the shame. And we can drop it all at the altar. Drop it all at the cross. Give it to God. Surrender it to God and let it go. And start to live in truth, live in power, live in might, the power, the strength, and the might that God is. Not that has for us, but that He is. Because we are sons and we are kings. And as sons, we've been accepted as, as a family member, as a son, into the kingdom of God, into the family of God. There is no more fear of rejection that we have to worry about. Everyone in this world, my wife, my kids, my friends, my coworkers, they can all reject me. These people can all reject us. It doesn't matter because God has already fully accepted us and has allowed us to be in His family, in His kingdom. And as a son, we are a king in His kingdom. And we have a part in the kingdom. So, man, I just want you to continue to grasp this with me, because I know if I'm experiencing it, there's others that are experiencing it as well. You don't have to live in shame. You don't have to live in guilt and doubt and fear anymore. There's nothing this world has that can truly hurt us. They can even take our life, but they cannot take our family away from us. They cannot take our God away from us. They cannot take our identity. They cannot take where we came from. They cannot take our purpose, and they cannot take where we're going. This is yours. This is between you and God. So, man, I just want to encourage you in that stop living in the fear of rejection. Stop living in the fear of doubt and shame and guilt. Drop that shit at the altar and start living. Because God has a life for you that you can't even imagine right now. You can't even imagine where God can take you in a year. You can't imagine where God can take you in 6 months. You can't even imagine where God can take you in 1 month. I know this because I'm experiencing it and being able to walk with God daily is something that is radical to commune with God and to experience his wisdom and his direction and his guidance on a day-to-day basis is mind-blowing. But it all starts with being honest about who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. So, men, I encourage you, again, know those questions. You know, your who God says who you are specifically is going to be a little different than me. You know, ultimately you are a son. Ultimately you are a king. But he may have a little different name for you. And if it's anything negative or down-putting, that's not from God. If it's uplifting and building you up, calling you up, giving you strength and power, that's from God. So men, I just want to encourage you, answer the questions. And if you're struggling, reach out. If you don't know the answer and you want to figure out those answers, reach out. You can DM me on Instagram, Surrendered Strength. Find me on Facebook. Reach out, because it is crucial to the way you live your life and the way you experience life and the way you experience what God has to offer for you. And you are more. And I know there's Bible verses connecting to a lot of the things I've talked about, just kind of off the cuff tonight, and didn't have time to look them up. But God says you're more than a conqueror. You're a son and a king. So that, I'll see you guys next week. God bless, and I love you. Thanks for listening. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Surrendered Strength. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and live the Surrendered Strength code. Discipline, courage, honor.